Hey, it's me again. Today's video is something I've wanted to make for a while. Every artist has something in their room that they turn to for inspiration, a place you can go to find direction, collect trinkets that inspire you, or just to remind yourself why you're creating in the first place. For me, it's this library. These books have shaped how I design, how I think about form and function, and honestly how I see the world. So today I'm going through 10 of my favorite books. It's not all stuff that's easily available, so sorry about that, but they do mean a lot to me, so hopefully you enjoy. Alright, let's get right into it. This first book is really cool. I got it while I was traveling in Japan in 2016. It's called Yokai in the Arts of Japan, and it's all about Japanese demons, creatures, spirits, ghosts. It's actually an exhibit I got to see in a museum, and I think that's why this book is so important to me. It's because whenever I look at it, I remember seeing the real painting in person. None of it is mechanical, but everything in this book is just so weird and cool. All the design feels so iconic and memorable. Each one has a personality and a behavior. The whole book is just filled with a ton of ideas, and everything is just so weird in the best possible way. All of it is in Japanese, so I don't understand much at all, but honestly, you don't really need to read any of it. All the storytelling comes from the images themselves. You look at a creature and you can immediately feel what the artist is trying to say. Like the posture and the proportions and the expression. The intent of the creature or monster is like right there on the page. And when it isn't clear, honestly, it's even more fun because your brain starts to fill in the gap with all the weird corners of your imagination. And this book is so great because there are just so many different variations on creatures and demons. Like everything from a little goofy ass goblin to a giant mountain-sized spider. Every page hits a totally different corner of your imagination. It's a good reminder that sometimes a strong silhouette or like a weird design can tell a lot more story than a whole paragraph ever could. This book is probably hard to find. I've only seen one copy on eBay, but I figured I'd share it anyway because it's just so special and honestly one of my favorite books I own. This next book I also picked up while I was in Japan, and it's Mobile Suit Illustrated 2015. This book is basically a giant catalog of Gundam designs. Every suit, every variation, every weird offshoot, it's all laid out in one place, and honestly that's why I love it so much. It's just packed with endless variation of Gundam designs. Every page is just another suit, another take, another interpretation on the same core idea. And it's why I like this book so much. It feels like you're watching someone brute force design, just generating every single possible solution to a silhouette or armor layout. Seeing every single variation on something, especially something as recognizable as a Gundam, it really shows how far you can push a design. And there's this parallel with another book I'll talk about later, but looking at this many variation kind of makes you realize everything's already been done. Every angle or every silhouette, somebody has already explored it, but honestly that's kind of freeing because your job isn't to invent the perfect mech that never existed, right? It's just to put your own taste into the mix. Combine stuff that you've seen and then twist it a bit, and you end up with something that feels like your version of something. For example, you can go through this whole book and then pick your favorite parts from all the different designs, like shoulders from this guy or like legs from that guy, slap all of them together, and then boom, you got your own version of a Gundam. Half of the book is in black and white and the other half is in color, and honestly it's just crammed with good designs. Might be a little bit easier to pick up than the previous one, or I'm sure they came up with a more recent version, and if you can get your hands on some version of it, absolutely get it. It's just so good. This next book is called Dreaming in Mech, the art of Nivanh Chanthara, and funny enough, it's almost like the two previous books had a baby together. all the creature weirdness from the first book and all the hardcore mechanical language from the second book, and just smash both of them together and you push them through an insane gritty style. Like, Nivanh just has so much style, you can't mistake his work for anyone else. All the shapes and the sketches, they're so sharp and confident. He's honestly one of my favorite artists ever. He's someone I really looked up to whenever I started to learn concept art, and seeing a collection of all of his work together is just so inspiring. He really pushes mech design as a whole forward. All the biomech stuff can easily feel cheesy or over-designed, but his stuff is just so fresh and personal, if that makes sense. It's mechanical, but it's also sketchy and loose at the same time. Like, it has a lot of energy, and that combination is very rare to find. You don't get the sense that he's worried about being correct. It's more like he's trying to capture a feeling or a mood first. All the technical stuff just falls into place because his instinct for design is just so strong. All the illustrations feel very finished without being over polished. Just by looking at a sketch, you can see that it's done. And that's a very hard balance to find whenever you're doing art. This whole book ties back to the thing I mentioned earlier, where everything's already been done. Because when you see Nivanh pulling from all the different influences and mixing them together, like the military gear and then the anime shapes, even the graphic design and graffiti work, he mixes everything together and it becomes unmistakably his. It's a perfect example of how design is basically just remixing your entire visual library and then pushing it through your own filter. His work is very unique and it just looks so damn cool. Like, who doesn't like a badass skeleton robot? Also, the whole presentation and layout of the book by Brent Ash is just amazing. There's a small tutorial section at the end, but honestly, what's so great about Nivan's work is not how he draws something, but more what he draws. This book might also be hard to find because it's out of print. I think I got mine during the pre-sale, and honestly, I wish that ArtStation made more books like these. It's a book I can look at for 2 minutes or 20 minutes and walk away wanting to sculpt something. Alright, next up is The Art of Metal Gear Solid by Yoji Shinkawa. And every time I open this book, I feel like I'm staring at pure confidence on paper. If there's one guy that makes drawing look easy, it's him. It's like he's not even trying, he just throws down a couple of strokes and instantly it becomes this beautiful illustration with an insanely cool design. Like, it's actually ridiculous how effortless it looks. I'll have to admit, Metal Gear is these games that I never really played, but I'm absolutely in love with the designs. They really made something that's super iconic and influenced a bunch of other people. And this book collects some of the best designs made for that franchise. Everything is so loose and at the same time so tight. It's a great reminder that style matters just as much as fundamentals. The way you draw something, your line weight, your shapes, your rhythm, that gives it personality. Like, Shinkawa could draw a toaster and it would still look iconic because the style is so strong. It's also probably hard to get your hands on this book, but honestly, any Art of Metal Gear book you can get, highly recommended. Alright, next up is Hobby Japan, which is basically a monthly magazine from Japan all about model kits. It's a lot of promo for the new kits coming out, a bunch of tutorials on how to build and paint stuff, new figurine lines or stuff that companies want to showcase. And even though it's pretty promo focused, the builds in there are insane. It's the next best thing if you can't get your hands on the Mobile Suit Illustrated, because it's just filled with ideas and shapes and just cool mech designs. Everything is so well presented and painted, like it feels very professional, and because everything's trying to compete for your attention or for your money, it feels like every page is just trying to one-up the next one. Like, forget about how cool the last design was, look at this one, it's just so much cooler, you should buy this one instead. I don't really use it as a shopping guide or anything like that, but what I get out of it is the shapes, the poses, the color schemes, or just the overall presentation. You can learn so much just by looking at how they break up the colors or how they pose a character that's very static and make it look very dynamic. Every issue has a really good mix of new product showcase or pro level paint jobs, just breakdown of techniques. There's all the new mecha and Gundam, there's military kits, there's some monsters, there's some sexy stuff, and every issue is different. Any issue that you can get your hands on, if it's an old one or a newer one, it's equally as good. And I don't think they're particularly hard to find. Often the model kit stores carry a couple of them. They're fairly cheap compared to the other books too, so don't hesitate to pick one up. They're a lot of fun. I only showed you one of these, but I have a whole stack of them. And every time I can find a new one, I just grab it. Alright, next book is World War Robot by Ashley Wood. And this one is just pure grit. It's a collection of these insane oil paintings with a very modern subject, but done in this very classical style. Whenever I open this book, I wonder, why do I even bother trying to clean up anything? Half the lines are barely even lines, but somehow the robots feel more alive than most of the super polished mechs out there. There's this looseness behind his work that's just so good. It's very chaotic, but at the same time super controlled. And to me, it feels like a more European version of Yoji Shinkawa. It's like somebody went to art school and spent decades learning how to render fruits, and at some point just said, fuck it, fruits are so boring, I'm just gonna do robots now. He throws a bunch of paint around and then boom, masterpiece. Meanwhile, all of us idiots over here drawing perspective lines and stuff. You can feel the grime and the dirt on all of his robots. You can smell the oil and the smoke. That's why I come back to this book a lot. Whenever I'm getting too precious with my design or too tight, just too worried about making things perfect, this reminds me it doesn't have to be clean to be good. Sometimes the attitude is way more important than the accuracy. I'm a huge fan of his collectible stuff as well. I have a bunch of them lying around, and pairing them with the oil painting illustrations in the book is just perfect. Great artist, and any of his book you can get your hands on is worth picking up. This one happens to be my favorite because it's mostly robots. Great addition if you want to display something on your coffee table. Alright, this one is a classic, How to Draw by Scott Robertson. If you ever try to learn how to draw, this is the book. It's very technical, but I promise you, if you go through the whole thing seriously, you'll 100% be a better artist for it. There's no shortcuts or magic tricks, it's just straight, solid fundamentals. It's all of the stuff that you have to know to be able to draw properly. It might be a bit dry and kind of hard to understand for straight up beginners, but if you're serious about learning how to draw, this has to be on your list. I didn't go to art school to learn how to draw, but whenever I was learning, I went through this whole thing from cover to cover, and it's probably the best piece of education I've ever gotten. It's very technical, but at the same time, very clear. Next up, we got Aftermarket by Brian Sum, and honestly, this book is just so pleasing to look at. Every page feels good. The shape language is so juicy, everything has a really nice flow to it. It's the kind of book you flip through slowly because your brain just enjoys every image. What I really love about Brian Sum's work is how he balances things. The colors are very vibrant, but it's never too much. Like, they pop, but it's very controlled. The designs have the super hard edge mixed with really soft, rounded forms, and he just blends them very naturally. Even though all of it is hand-drawn, it feels machined. It's hard to see someone hit that balance so consistently. I don't really study this book for technical stuff. I look at it because it's just so nice to look at. It reminds me what clean, intentional design feels like. Brian Sum's work just hits that sweet spot for me. Juicy shape language, very controlled balance, and a style that's very unique and fresh. Easily one of the most satisfying books I have on my shelf. There's also a process section, but again, it's like step 1, draw really well, and then step 2, just finish your drawing. And fortunately, this book is still available for purchase, so I'll put a link down in the description if you want to check it out. He has a couple of different versions, but I got the signed special edition. Okay, this one is a big one. It's so big it doesn't fit in the camera. It's called Logo Modernism, and it's just filled to the brim with an insane amount of logos and graphic design. And what I love about this book is that it's just pure shape language distilled into its simplest essence. It has nothing to do with mechs, but at the same time it has everything to do with design. It's such a nice contrast to mech design because when we design mechs, we're trying to juggle a million things at once, like the silhouette and the function and all these different shapes and the articulation, and it's all in 3D and blah blah blah. It's a lot. But this book is how do I make the letter A look as good as possible. This is the book that makes you realize that every shape combination has already happened before. Chances are, if you're trying to design a logo, it's already in this book, flipped upside down. It's one of the best books on my shelf to understand the foundation of design. For book number 10, we got Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon Official Artworks. And this book is sick. The first half of the book is mostly about the environments and the setting of the game, and there's a lot of props work in there too. It's the kind of stuff that you don't really take the time to look at when you're actually playing the game because you're flying past everything at 200 kilometers an hour. Seeing it in the book makes you realize how much work and effort goes into making a project like this. Nothing is random, it has to be cohesive and believable. And then the other half of the book is what they call machinery. And boy oh boy, is that where things get interesting. You get to see the iterations and the breakdowns really clearly. All the different parts and weapons, everything is laid out. It's really cool to see how much functionality they built into everything. One thing that they're really strong at is all the movement and animation. You can tell that the designs are built to move. The way the guns transform and are stored, they fold and expand into different modes. You can really see them trying to figure out all the panels and joints of a design, how pieces separate, how they overlap, what moves and what stays locked in place. There's a lot of problem solving on the page, and it's cool to see how they explore different ways for the parts to actually function. There's a ton of detail in these designs, and that's kind of become their trademark. The fact that it's made out of so many different little parts, it's what makes the mech feel super high-tech and advanced. Everything is pushed so far with these designs, but that's exactly why it works. Armored Core has always been over the top, but that's kind of what you want with your mechs. You don't want restraint, you want explosions and 100 missiles flying away. You can really see how much they commit to that approach. It's super dense, but it's intentional. The level of detail is what makes the design feel so complex. When you're playing the game, it's so much information to absorb at once, but if you have the book, you can take the time to look at every detail very carefully and digest stuff slowly. It's a great book. I have a few other Armored Core art books, but this one might be the easiest for you guys to find. And finally, special mention. This is book 11, but who's counting, right? I already showed this book in a previous video, but I have to bring it back because it probably is my favorite book of the whole lot, and it's Izmojuki Industrial Divinities. What I like so much about this book is that the designs are so serious and grounded. Like, you can really see how every joint works and how the weight is handled, but at the same time it's very playful. I don't want to say goofy because that's not the right word, but there's a charm to these mechs, a personality. They're very practical, but they still feel fun. It's something that I always try to incorporate into my own work, and this artist has probably my favorite shape language of all the ones that I showed before. Everything is just so clean and sophisticated. Every time I'm looking for inspiration or I try to set the bar for what mech design should look like, I come back to this book and I just flip through it, trying to absorb as much of the juicy mech shapes as I can. I'm pretty sure this book is still available on Amazon, so if you need something for Christmas, well, there you go. Hope you enjoyed the tour of my physical visual library. If you have a favorite book you'd recommend, drop it in the comments. I'm always looking for new stuff to check out. And hopefully this gave you a bit of inspiration. I wish more of these books were easier to find, but at least I got to share a few of them with you. And if you enjoyed the content, let me know. It really helps me figure out what kind of videos you guys like to see. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.